Right, shalom, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I would love to start by giving all honor, all glory, and all infinite praises unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of the great millstone that taught us the truth. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the sincere Akim, laboring in this truth, preaching, teaching, and believing on the name Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai. And peace, blessings, and salutations to the men, women, and children that believe on the name Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai. And I just want to get into a quick lesson through the Spirit. You know, Lord, would to be edifying. And before I do, I'm going to go to this lesson real quick that I was watching earlier. And that's what it sparked in me, you know, listening to it. It's a lesson that the Elder Malcolm did. And a lesson, Salakia. It was the Maccabee Spirit. Not this one. Salakia. Give me 1 second. Okay, boom. It was on my watch later. It was this lesson right here, the end time signs. Beautiful. And what the Elder Malcolm was going into in that lesson, he went into a lot. You know, I advise brothers to watch it. But one of the things he mentioned was that fog, that how people were getting sick out that fog. You know, a certain fog that was in Florida, and it was in other places as well. But, you know, all these things are the signs of the times. And you got other things going on, you'll know, like the norovirus and what's the other one called? You got the norovirus. Oh, and a possible Ebola outbreak that's getting ready to take place. They found 2 cases in New York. And I'm going to go into the articles on it, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. You know, so this ain't no medical misinformation. You know, it's information that's out there for all to know and all to see, you know what I'm saying, for all that watch. Right, which the men that the Lord have set up in a lot of times are watching, right? So I'm going to start with Jeremiah 28:8. It says, the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms. And we're prophesying the downfall and destruction of America. You know what I'm saying? AKA Babylon, because this bitch is getting ready to fall. But before it falls, there are a lot of things that are going to take place here in these latter times by the will of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai before this place is completely burnt to a crisp, right? So it says, and of pestilence, right? So when you go into this word pestilence, let's go into the word pestilence. And I'm going to read it in the NLT as well, but let's just go into it, right? And it says pestilence. It says pestilence, plague, murrain, cattle disease, cattle plague, right? Let me see what it got. It says to speak. Not much on that, but it's just a plague, right? Diseases, these things that you see, and sicknesses, right? This is Jeremiah chapter 28, verse 8 in the NLT. It says the ancient prophets who prophesied, you and me, spoke against many nations, always warning of war, which we see here in these latter times, disaster, which we see those things happening as well, but they're going to increase, and disease, which those things are going to increase as well, because we're going to get into it, but the Lord said he was going to smite Egypt with plagues as before. And, you know, you read in the account of Exodus, right, when we were being delivered out of the land of Egypt, the Lord smote Egypt with many plagues before we were delivered. And so here in these latter times before the children of Israel are delivered, there are going to be many things, many great things that take place here in the land, and here in America, a.k.a. Babylon, a.k.a. Egypt. You know what I'm saying? These are the things that are going to take place here in these latter times, right? So going from here, I'm going to get Matthew chapter 24, right? This is Matthew chapter 24. And then I get the next one. This is Matthew chapter 24. Then I'm going to start at 6. This is Matthew chapter 24 and verse 6. It says, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. And we've been hearing of wars since Russia and Ukraine. Then you had Israel and Hamas. Then you got something that's getting rid of a potential war between Israel and Iran. You know, so you got different things that are getting ready to take place in these latter times. And there's going to be war because World War III is going to come. You know what I'm saying? So you're going to have all these different proxy wars before the actual war, World War III, where they're not just shooting out guns and where they're not just shooting out these drones. There's going to be actual missiles, ICBMs, the intercontinental ballistic missiles, once the Lord puts the spirit on them to shoot those things off on America. So from here, it says, and ye shall have wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. So, right, all these things gonna come to pass, but the end is not yet. Because he said, what? Why is the end not yet? Because there are other things that are getting ready to take place. The Lord is, even though the Lord is speeding up the time for the elect's sake, there's a lot of things that are going to happen within the Lord speeding up the time. Means things are going to happen faster, and we're starting to witness that. You know what I'm saying? Right before our very eyes. This is verse 7. It says, for nation shall rise against nation. We see that. And kingdom against kingdom. We see that. Right? Hell, you even got Esau divided against Esau. And that's why this kingdom is no longer getting ready to stand. It's coming to a halt. Right? It says, and there shall be famines and pestilences. Right? Famines and pestilences. Let's go into this word pestilences real quick. Just get this definition on it real quick. Right? It says pestilent. It says a pestilent fellow pest plague. There it is again. Right? We read in Jeremiah 28:8. It says, and earthquakes in diverse places. And we see them earthquakes in different places. When you got these earthquakes all over the world in certain areas, you can do research on that. And that's been happening for a while now. It says all these are the beginning of sorrows. So when you see the midst of these, when you start to see these things reach the high, it's just the beginning of sorrows. So the plot is just starting to thicken. You know what I'm saying? Things are just getting started, right? So let's go from here. Let's get the second Ezra 9. We ain't gonna be too long. Just want to make a couple points. And I'm gonna go into a couple of these articles in a minute. Right? So this is second Ezra chapter 9 in verse Salakia. Apocrypha. Second Ezra chapter 9. So in verse 1. Right? After this we get into the articles. It says, this is second Ezra chapter 9 and verse 1. It says, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. And this is how we're measuring the times. Through the midst of all these things taking place, we're filtering everything that we see through the scriptures because we understand that we're living in the end times. It says he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. And when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, and these are the signs, right? We just read it. These are part of the signs, right? It says, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world in which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the earth, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. Right? It says, even so the times of the highest have plain beginnings and wonders, powerful works and endings and effects and signs. And these are part of the wonderful effects and the signs that we're seeing here in the latter times to show you the times that we're living in. By these things continuing to ramp up and these things continuing to take place. And the cold part about it is, these things aren't just happening in one place. They're happening in a plethora of places. And these people, and they're not reporting on these things. Yeah, they're doing articles, but these things aren't national news because they're keeping people in the blind. They're keeping people from going in a state of panic or in a state of I need to protect myself. Because see, when people understand when that's like if people understand if like let's say for instance if we were in an all-out famine or there was getting ready to be an oil shortage. Or they were getting ready to, that's just like during the first lockdown. When you had all those certain things, you had people ransacking the grocery stores, buying up all the goods. You had, even Elder Malcolm touched on that in the lesson. That's a beautiful lesson that the Elder Malcolm did. And so you even had people, these long lines at the gas stations where the gas stations were running out of oil and gas. You know what I'm saying? Even to the point where that hurricane was getting ready to hit. I forget what part of Florida that hurricane was getting ready to hit a while back. Right, and all those people, they bought up all the gas where certain people couldn't leave because there was no more gas in the area. So when catastrophe comes, people go buy up all the goods. But so it's keeping people in that state of panic from wanting to run out and do certain things or protect themselves or stay inside. But see, because ultimately they got those WEF. Them World Economic Forums where Bill Gates get to speaking on certain things about the population, if you know what I mean. You know what I'm saying? So they're not trying to want people to go in a state of panic to where they want to protect themselves and keep themselves from these diseases. You know what I'm saying? Because these things are getting ready to take place and at a much more rapid rate. You know what I'm saying? So they're not reporting on these things. So with that being said, right, I want to get into a couple of these articles real quick. Right, I had a couple of them queued up. I'm going to start at this first one up here. Right? We're going to hit this one first. We're going to jump down in it. So it says two expected Ebola patients were transported from a New York City urgent care facility to a hospital for treatment after they exhibited symptoms of the deadly and incurable disease. So meaning you catch this shit, it's incurable. Meaning the fatality rate is extremely high, right? There's no way to beat it. Right? It says the patients were transported from a City MD on East 125th Street and Lexington Avenue around 11:16 a.m. It says on Sunday, the New York City Fire Department told DailyMail.com. It says images showed first responders wearing face coverings and gloves as they moved the patients into ambulances on the rainy Upper East Side Street, right? So, you know what I'm saying? You can go get into this article. This is the name of the article. Ebola virus panic in NYC after multiple suspected cases spark emergency response. So with that, we're going to jump down in it real quick, right? So as you jump down in it, it says, two suspected Ebola patients were transported from a city. We read that. It says the CDC has asked doctors to begin evaluating Americans for Ebola out of fear the disease has made its way into the country. Why? Because here we go as you jump. Now watch this. It says the Health Alert Network, HAN, it says health advisory was issued after Ebola outbreak was confirmed in Uganda on January 30th. So the outbreak began in Uganda on January 30th. It says on January 29th, a 32-year-old nurse working at the Mulago National Referral Hospital in the capital city, Kampala, died from Ebola. And several days before his death, the diseased Ugandan nurse had developed high fever, chest pain, difficulty in breathing, and bleeding from multiple body sites. He had sought treatment at multiple health facilities, including Mulago Referral Hospital in Kampala, Sadina, Abukar Islamic Hospital in Mutaga, in Wakisko District, and Mabla Regional Referral Hospital in Mabla City, but did not recover. So even though he sought treatment for these things, he did not recover. And see, that's what the Lord is going to do. That's what the Lord is beginning to do to Egypt. He's smiting this place with incurable plagues, right? Incurable plagues. It says, according to the CDC, he also sought treatment from a traditional healer. The agency said post-mortem samples were tested and confirmed Ebola. The CDC said Uganda is experiencing an outbreak of Sudan virus disease. In Kampala, Mabali, and Waskiso, it says SVD is a type of Ebola disease caused by infection with the Sudan virus. No vaccines or therapeutics have been approved for the prevention or the treatment of SVD. It says there are at least 9 confirmed cases of the disease in Uganda, while 265 other people were being monitored under quarantine, health authorities said Tuesday. But as we jumped up, it says the CDC has asked doctors to begin evaluating Americans for Ebola out of the fear the disease has made its way into the country. So that thing is happening in Uganda, but they fear that it's now made its way onto American soil. So now going from here, we hit that one. Now let's jump down to these next two, right? Let's jump down to these next two. Hit them real quick. Because, right, just it says Florida residents have reported, it says mysterious fall with chemical smell blanket southern state where locals report sickness and exposure. It says Florida residents have reported a mysterious fall with a chemical smell sweeping across parts of the state once again. The National Weather Service shows a dense fog alert near Jacksonville and Tallahassee for Tuesday until Wednesday. Right? It says, while fog is a common occurrence in the area, Florida said what they see outside is unnatural. So they're seeing a fog, but it's an unnatural fog. And what you know, this devil, you know what I'm saying, constantly playing chemtrails in the air. They do all these different things. You know what I'm saying? So that sounds like Esau eating his hands is all over that. But at the same time, even though his hands may be all over that, it's still a will of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. He's only doing what the Lord is allowing him to do. You know what I'm saying? As it says, the scriptures talk about how the king's heart is in the hands of the Lord, in the hands of the Lord, and as rivers of water, he turneth to whithersoever he will. So going from here, it says, and then just read this piece right here. It says it was a citizen. A citizen. It says, I live in Lake County. It's so thick, it's not natural fog. One resident shared online. Another local said the fog looked more like smoke, but no fires have been reported in the area. We have had a weird fog here in Florida the last few weeks. I saw fog in the middle of the day going over the Bayside Bridge. Another Floridian shared there was fog on one side, but on the other it was really weird. Not sure what's going on. Many locals have also reported symptoms associated with exposure to the fog, including coughing, sore throat, congestion, eye irritation, lethargy, loss of appetite, and gut issues. It comes just week after another thick fog previously rolled into the area last month that locals also said had a smell of metal. You know what I'm saying? So these devils doing shit, but like I said, they're only doing the things that the Lord is orchestrating them to do. Right? So now from here, we're going to get this last one in this damn neurovirus, right? It says Neurovirus 2025 outbreaks of stomach bug are surging across U.S. It says know these early signs, right? It says know these early signs, but see, guess what? We read in the scriptures. It's just the signs of the times, right? Just like the Elder Malcolm titled his lessons, right? The end signs of the times. So it says Neurovirus 2025 outbreaks of stomach bugs. It says are surging across U.S. Know these early signs. It says neurovirus. It says the highly contagious stomach bug that causes vomiting and diarrhea is spiking across the U.S. What to know about symptoms and prevention. It says by Carolyn Key. It says cases of neurovirus, also known as the stomach flu, are still surging across the United States. The highly contagious gastrointestinal bug, which causes sudden and miserable bouts of vomiting and diarrhea, is causing a record number of outbreaks for this time of year. There were 97 suspected and confirmed neurovirus outbreaks recorded in the U.S. during the week ending January 9th. So that was last month. And at least 128 outbreaks the week prior. More than double the number of outbreaks recorded during the same period over the last 3 years, according to the latest data from the U.S. Center for Disease Control and Prevention. So you see, like, and this thing is on spread. This neurovirus thing is running rapid. And if that Ebola thing is and that Ebola thing that they're talking about is in New York, it's gonna run rapid, just like it is in Uganda right now. So it's a thing that's gonna run rapid, right? So it's the Lord, right? It's the Lord showing you that His word wasn't gonna return it to Him void, because He's doing the things that He said He would do here in these latter times. And so with that, we'll hit this second Esdras 15, and we'll get ready to close. This is second Esdras chapter 15. We'll start at, let me see. I'll start at 1, and then I'll jump down. It says, Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord. So these aren't our words. These are the Most High's words that He's put in His prophet's mouth here in these latter times. You know, like, Lord willing, we be those men, beginning with our apostles and elders and the men on down that have entered into those labors. It says, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord, and cause to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. And the Lord is showing you that His words are faithful and true, because you're now starting to experience these things on a high level, right? It says, fear not the imaginations against thee, let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee. So the ones that don't believe, the ones that don't want to hear what we're saying, we ain't letting your words trouble us, or your mocking, or your scoffing trouble us. We let you do what you do, because guess what it says? It says, for all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. So you don't believe, you ain't gotta believe it. But all the unfaithful, the ones that refuse to come back into Yahweh Shem Shah, the ones that are not gonna have a hedge of protection when all these things really reach their height, all the unfaithful gonna die in their unfaithfulness. Verse 5, it says, behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world. And that's a plague. The Lord is bringing plagues upon the world. That was 3 of them we just read about. The Lord is bringing plagues upon the world. It says, upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. So with the plagues, there's going to come a famine, there's going to come death, and there's going to come destruction, right? It says, for wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and the hurtful works are fulfilled. Therefore saith the Lord. So you're starting to see all these things happen because wickedness has reached its height. And now that wickedness has reached its height, the Lord is starting to pour out all His tricks in His trick bag, and He's finna show you how He's finna destroy America the way He destroyed ancient Egypt. Well, so like He's gonna hit Smite Egypt smite Egypt with plagues just like he did smite modern day Egypt, being America, like he did ancient Egypt before the deliverance of the children of Israel. So jumping down to verse 15, it says, no, Salakia, verse 10, I'll start at 10. It says, behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt. And that's what's going to happen. The Lord is getting ready to deliver the children of Egypt. He's going to protect, and he's going to protect the children of Egypt. Scriptures talk about how it's the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. Ooh, the elect, right? So it says, verse 11, it says, but I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm. So the Lord is going to protect us. That's going to be our strong state. That's going to be our buckler. That's going to be our shield. It says, but I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm and smite Egypt with plagues as before. So the same things that the Lord did to ancient Egypt is the things he's getting ready to do all over again. It says, and will destroy all the land thereof. So all these are the things, these are the things that are going to take place before the Lord destroys the land, right? It says, Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that the Most High shall bring upon it. And so these are the things that are getting ready to happen. These are the things that are getting ready to happen upon the second coming of our Lord and Savior, and upon the deliverance of the children of Israel. The Lord is getting what he said. What he says, Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and the punishment that the Most High shall bring upon it. And the ultimate plague that the Lord is going to bring is those ICBMs, those intercontinental ballistic missiles. But before those, the Lord is going to turn this thing up with all these pestilences and all these different plagues, as we just saw with the ones that I went into in the article. And like I said, that lesson that the Elder Malcolm did, it was a beautiful lesson that he did. I recommend brothers check it out. But understanding that the Lord is getting ready, the Lord has now set his eyes upon this place, and he's now beginning to touch this place because his hands is upon it. And we're seeing it because the things that are happening here in these latter times, but with the signs. And the Lord is not only only put the words in his men's mouth here in these latter times, but he's now matching our words, the words that we speak, with signs, with these different effects and these wonders, and we're seeing these things as they intensify. So with this, I just pray and hope this lesson was edifying. I'm going to end giving all honor, glory, and infinite praises unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Kakwadash, the honest to our apostles, elders of the great millstone that taught us the truth. Salutations to the sensei Akim laboring in the truth, and salutations to the men, women, children that believe on the name Yahweh Shema Shai in these latter times. And with that, we ain't giving again. I'm gonna give all praise, honor, glory to Yahweh Shema Shai. Hey, and with that, I say shalom till the next time.